You live in your home for years, maybe even decades, and the thought of selling it can feel, well, absolutely overwhelming. But what if I told you we could turn that whole daunting process into a smart, strategic move? One that actually maximizes your profits and, believe it or not, minimizes all the stress. So start by acknowledging that your home is not just four walls and a roof. It's the backdrop to your life's most precious memories. The quote on the screen says it all, doesn't it? Your home is where life happened for you. So yes, the decision to sell is fully packed with emotion. But here's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to take all that history, all that emotion, and we're going to channel it into empowerment. Think of this as your personal playbook, one designed to give you a profitable, predictable, and yes, even a stress-free sale. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the right mindset for your next big move. Then we'll talk about why first impressions are absolutely everything. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of smart money renovations, and just as importantly, we're going to cover the repairs you should politely skip. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with how to create a strategy that's perfect for you. Sound good? Let's get going. First things first, we need to shift our perspective just a little bit. This is all about going from thinking about this place as your cherished home to seeing it as a desirable house for the next owner. It's a tiny change in words, but it's a huge change in strategy. This right here is the key. We're not spending money to fix things up. No, every single dollar will be a strategic investment. Every decision we make, from the can of paint to a new light fixture, has to be focused on one thing: appealing to the day's buyers, so you get the strongest possible return. So where did we start with those strategic investments? Right at the front door. We're talking about first impressions. These are low-cost, high-impact changes that make buyers feel welcome and excited the second they walk in. It all starts with creating an invitation for the buyer. First step, declutter. And this is not just about being tidy, it's about creating space. This makes every room feel bigger and way more open. Second, get a professional deep clean. Seriously, nothing says this home is well cared for like a space that sparkles. And finally, to personalize the interior. By packing away your personal photos and collections, you're not erasing your memories, you're just making room for the buyer to imagine their own. Here's why those steps are so critical. The truth is, most people can't visualize a home's potential beyond what's right in front of their eyes. If a home is crowded or full of really personal stuff, it makes the place feel small and occupied. When you create a clean, neutral canvas, you're doing the hard work of imagination for the buyer. All right, now we're getting to the heart of it: smart money renovations. Let's talk about projects that are actually going to put more money in your pocket when you get to the closing table. You always say that kitchens and baths sell homes, and it's true, but it does not mean you need to do a full-blown gut job. The smart money in your situation is on a refresh. Think about it. New cabinet handles and a modern light fixture can drastically improve the feel of a kitchen for just a few $100s. A full-blown overhaul can cost tens of thousands of dollars, and you run the sizable risk that the buyer will not even like the expensive finishes you picked. The goal is clean, modern, and neutral, not your personal dream kitchen. That same idea of refresh, don't replace applies to your walls and floors. A fresh coat of light neutral paint is probably the best single investment you can make in the property. This makes the entire home feel clean, bright, and new. And please, avoid the bold accent walls. What looks stylish to you might just look like a weekend paint project to the buyer. Your job is to create a beautiful, move-in ready backdrop for the buyer's life. Now, before you spend even a dime on those cosmetic updates, you do have to tackle the essential fixes. These are the non-negotiables, the things that will actually show up in a home inspection report and can totally derail your sale. That water stain in the ceiling, you have to fix the leak and paint the stain. Is the furnace on its last legs? At least get it serviced and certified for safety, and maybe even get a written estimate for a replacement. These fixes are not about adding value, they're about removing objections and giving buyers the confidence to make a strong, clean offer. And now for my favorite section: protecting your hard-earned equity by knowing which projects to politely skip. This is where you can save a lot of time, money, and potential headaches. I'd like you to remember this quote, maybe even write it down. Don't do all the projects that you didn't do while you lived all those years in the home just for the new owner. They may not appreciate the work. This is pretty much the golden rule of selling your home. So why is that quote so important? Well, your dream kitchen, the one you had saved on Pinterest for years with the perfect quartz countertops, might be the buyer's nightmare. Big renovations are deeply personal, so by skipping them, you're not just saving a lot of money, you're actually giving the buyer a really powerful selling point, a blank canvas to create their own dream. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, creating your personalized strategy, because everything we talked about today really needs to be custom tailored to your specific situation. So let's make this about you. What is the right renovation strategy for your unique home in your unique neighborhood and in the market we're in right now? What sells a home in one part of the country may not work well at all in another part of the country. The age of your home, the style of your neighborhood, and current market trends all play huge roles. The absolute key to maximizing your return and having that truly stress-free sale is getting a tailored plan from a local expert who understands all the major trends and the little nuances in the current Massachusetts market. That's exactly where an expert like me, Warren Reynolds, comes in. I'm an attorney and a designated senior real estate specialist. I will help you navigate the entire process and create a predictable, profitable plan that is custom tailored just for your home and the ever-shifting local market. This is how you can turn what feels like an overwhelming experience into an empowered, successful next chapter. Just text or call me at 508-561-6259 for a free, no obligation consultation. And in the meantime, look at some of our other videos that are designed to empower you with clarity and confidence.